So welcome to CNS 2003. This is week 1, chapter 1. In this chapter, we are going to discuss about introduction to computer network. What is a computer network? Okay, the computer network, okay, we are talking about a group of computers or devices connected with each other to perform specific functions to get some certain objectives. Like here we have one example. Here we have computers connected to a switch, okay, and we have also printer connected to the switch. We have also a server. We have access point. So you can see here we are using the network to access the printer, maybe access the internet. Like computer has components, also network has components. Example for network components and devices. What else? Server and network operating system. Also, we have some networking devices. Okay. NOS يعني network operating system. Okay. Now we have two types of networks. We have peer-to-peer network, which is very simple, very basic network. When you have, like, let's say at home, you have 3 computers, you want them to share one printer or scanner or something, you can do a peer-to-peer. Each device can have control, either be a server or a client at the same time. But in big organizations, you can have a client server. The client will make the request, the server will authenticate and will provide the request to the client. This is the architecture of a client-server network. As you can see here, we have file server connected to a switch. Then we have switch connected to this 2 computers, management LAN. And this one is connected to human resource LAN. Okay, and as you can see here, like we have 4 computers, for example. This is just a simple example. As you can see here, each device has an IP address. What is IP address? IP address is an address given to the computer or to the device so that it can be communicating on the internet or network. Okay, like you are given an ID number. And each IP address should be unique in order to be able to access the internet. We have 2 types of IP addresses, IP version 4 and IP version 6. Just refresh your knowledge. IP version 4 is 32 bits. IP version 6 is 128 bits. Okay. Windows Server, it is a computer or a server that has network operating system. Okay. And usually it has high configuration, yani higher RAM, higher storage. Okay. Nowadays we have something even called cloud computing. Cloud computing is you do not have the server at your premises. You can have your server in the cloud. We have already mentioned about the computer hardware, and when we studied CIS 1103, some examples of computer hardware: CPU, RAM, ROM. Okay. The server is a higher end computer, and it has more specification, more configuration, more RAM. Okay, more expensive, more reliable. Okay. Now these are the forms of we call for servers. We have something called form factor. Okay. Form factor is yani the type of your server. Is it a standalone or is it part of a data center? For we have the blade server, Blade server is a small module known as blade that are installed on server chassis to save space and power. يعني بدون الكيس they put it directly on the chassis. We will visit inshallah our computer lab once they are still working on it, and then I will show you how they look like. Okay, I will let you know. Then we have the tower server. Tower server اللي هو الكيس look like tower sitting on the floor or on a disk. Then we have rack mountable servers. Okay, this is servers that are designed so that they will fit to a rack. rack يعني اللي هو الفريم هذا. All right. طب what is network operating system? Any idea? Network operating system is a software that is used for managing, maintaining, and providing resources in a network. Okay, like your computer, you should have Windows, right? Same thing in the network, you should have some operating system for network. For example, Windows Server 2012, Windows Server 2016, Windows Server 2019, Linux, Unix, okay, Mac OS, okay. Windows Server started with Windows NT 3.5. This was in the 1990s. Then they introduced NT 4, okay, then Windows Server 2000, okay. We will see a time frame. Now here we talk about the file system. The file system of the Windows Server 2019 is NTFS. However, Microsoft also introduced a high or a more advanced file system called REFS for specific applications like storage. This one deals directly with storage. Okay, but NTFS is still there. Okay, now when you choose your Windows operating system, you need to know what are your requirements, what is your budget, how many employees you have. Okay. This is the timeline for Windows. You see here, it's not really very long time ago that Windows Server was introduced. Okay. So in the 1996 plus, we had 3.5, then Windows 4. I was there that time, and I remember this coming. Okay. Then we had Windows Server 2000, which was big thing that time. Then we have Windows Server 2003. Then we have the data center. Data center is you will have many servers connected and with storage in one location. Okay. Then now people are using the cloud. Windows Server 2019 is the latest in this book that is covered in this book. Okay, it has more features than the previous ones. The previous one was Windows 2016. Now Windows Server 2019 comes in different flavors. We call them editions. We have Windows Server 2019 Data Center. That is the top of the line. Okay, it is the most comprehensive edition for enterprises that own high virtualized data centers and they have the budget, okay, or who are cloud providers. Then we have 2019 standard. It's a full feature edition, but it is designed for medium-sized businesses who have their servers on their premises. Then we have Windows Server Essential. This is for small businesses that have only one server. Then we have Microsoft Hyper-V. This is free and delivers enterprise class virtualization for data centers and hybrid cloud. So Hyper-V بس عشان يعطي virtualization. Windows Server 2019, it has more features, and we will talk about these features in a minute, related to hybrid capabilities, also related to security, also related to performance efficiency, and related to infrastructure management. Now we need to know the minimum requirement for Windows Server and the recommended requirement. Minimum, yani without it, it will not work. So the RAM should be 512, the processor 1.4 giga, and so on. But this is the minimum. Yani your server will barely work. It will be very slow. You cannot put anything on it, any application. But we have the recommended. If you look at the recommended, they are much higher, much better. The recommended, you should know both. Huh? The processor should be 2 giga, 32 gigabyte hard disk or more. Sorry, the RAM is 32 giga. The disk space is 256 gigabyte or more, or 1 terabyte hard disk if it is HDD. Of course, SSD is more efficient than HDD, you know that, and it's more expensive. And you should have a network cable and so on. So as we can see, Windows 2019 is much stronger than Windows 2016. So some of the new features in Windows 2019 is the System Insight. System Insight, it uses AI predictive analysis. Yani it will know the performance, analyze the performance to predict if something's going to happen or how will be the performance next week. So this is called System Insight. Okay? So System Insight uses predictive analysis. Also, it has support for hybrid cloud. Okay? You can have servers on the premises and connection to the servers in the cloud. And you have better support for Azure backup, file synchronization, and so on. Also in 2019, we have the storage migration service. This is making it able or facilitate the process of migrating servers to a newer version of Windows Server. And it is based on GUI, yani menus, graphical interface, so you don't have to memorize commands, okay? So which is very good. And Windows PowerShell also. And storage migration is an extension, a Windows Admin Center extension. Okay, Windows Storage Replica, it was there in Windows 2016, but here it is better with Windows 2019. Okay, more efficient. Also, 2019 is having better security features than 2016. ATB is there already in both. It's one of the features. Now for developers, also 2019 is better. It provides good support for developers and application development. Okay. Has good support for Kubernetes. Okay. Kubernetes, they consist of nodes and pods. Nodes اللي هو physical machine or virtual machines. البودز اللي هو الانستنس of the application. You just need to know. We are not going to go deep into this. Just need to know basic idea that has better performance. Also, it has support for Docker containers. Okay. You know, the Docker is used for creating applications and protecting your system. So it has better support for Docker containers. Please go over the summary and let me know if you have any question.